The journey begins now. With each inhale, vitality and light fill your being. With each exhale, all tensions dissipate. You cross a subtle portal into elevated dimensions of consciousness. Welcome to Sacred Sleep Whisper, the channel where your nights become gateways to a magnificent life. Here you find refuge to relax and allow the magic of deep sleep to transform your life. Allow yourself to relax. Let calmness envelop you and enter a space where sleep becomes a portal to inner discoveries. Gently close your eyes and feel the warm embrace surrounding your body. Breathe deeply. Feel this energy around you for a moment. Feel a golden light softly touching your head, spreading throughout your body. Like a celestial cloak, this energy flows through every cell, bringing balance and renewal. Feel this golden energy flowing like liquid honey through your body, dissolving tensions and worries. It descends over your face, relaxing your forehead, temples, and jaw. Notice how your shoulders naturally release, allowing the golden light to cascade down your arms to your fingertips. With each breath, this light intensifies, creating a protective field around you. You are safe, supported, and deeply connected to the universal source of love and wisdom. Allow yourself to feel the warmth of this light, penetrating your muscles, bones, and organs, bringing harmony and balance to your entire being. Visualize this golden light forming a luminous cocoon around you, a sacred space where you can simply be, free from judgments and expectations. Here, in this sanctuary of light, you find the peace that has always resided in your heart. Every cell of your body vibrates in harmony with this divine frequency, restoring, renewing, and revitalizing your life force. Visualize a violet flame dancing softly before you. Its light pulses in sync with the heart of the universe, radiating transformation and unconditional love. The Ascended Masters have always guarded this sacred flame. Its light carries the secrets of transmutation and spiritual alchemy. With each moment, the flame seems to come alive, whispering ancient truths in a language only your heart can understand. As you maintain your focus on the flame, it begins to grow gradually, expanding in all directions. Its loving warmth touches your skin with the gentleness of a maternal embrace. Watch in awe as the violet and golden energies begin a celestial dance, intertwining in harmonious spirals around you. This intertwining of colors forms a protective cocoon of divine light, an impenetrable force field that extends in all directions. Within this energetic sanctuary, all negativity instantly dissolves, like mist under the morning sun. Limiting thoughts, dense emotions, and old resistances are transmuted into pure golden light. Feel the strength of this protective field, how it pulses and breathes in unison with your own being. Each beat of your heart strengthens this structure of light, making it brighter and more powerful. This is your divine shield, your sacred temple of transformation. Now, with total confidence and surrender, allow this transcendental violet energy to begin its journey within your being. Like a river of celestial light, it flows gently toward your heart. It penetrates gently through your energetic layers, bringing healing and liberation to every aspect of your being. With each conscious breath, the violet flame dissolves another layer of accumulated pain, ancestral fears, and self-imposed limitations. Inhale deeply, and feel the violet light filling your lungs, expanding throughout your body. Exhale and allow it to carry away everything that no longer serves your highest good. With each respiratory cycle, more light penetrates your being, more love fills your empty spaces, and more healing occurs at deep levels. The transformation happens naturally, effortlessly, like the blossoming of a flower at dawn. Your heart expands, becoming an ever larger receptacle for this divine energy of transmutation. Allow yourself to be completely enveloped by this sacred frequency, knowing that each moment in this energy is rewriting your story, healing your past, and illuminating your future. You are a being of light in constant evolution, and the violet flame is your eternal companion on this transformative journey. Let's embark on a spiritual transformation journey through the violet flame, and a story that is not just a narrative, it's a living technique to lull your sleep and restore your energy. Allow the elements of the story to activate your senses and spirit for deep, restorative sleep. The cold wind gently slid over the mountains, spreading the fresh aroma of pines and damp earth. The sky was tinged with golden and lilac hues as the sun bid farewell on the horizon, reflecting on the tranquil waters of the fjord. Lena breathed deeply, allowing the pure air to fill her lungs. There was something about this place that made her feel different, light, as if her soul floated between the real and the invisible. She had arrived at the small Norwegian village a few days ago, seeking refuge from the silent weight she carried in her chest. The fast pace of the city, the memories she didn't want to revisit, the nameless restlessness. It all seemed to fade away the moment she stepped onto this cold, welcoming soil. The cabin she rented was simple, made of aged wood, with windows facing the lake. Inside it smelled of dried lavender and freshly burned firewood, a comforting scent that enveloped her senses. Every night, Lena fell asleep to the sound of the wind whispering through the trees and the gentle waves lapping against the rocks. But on this night, something different hung in the air. There was a melody. It wasn't the rustling of leaves or the distant song of a night bird. It was something ethereal, a harmonious murmur that seemed to come from within her own mind. Curious, she rose from her bed, her bare feet touching the cold wooden floor. She followed the sound, a sweet and mysterious call that guided her out of the cabin. The night sky was filled with sparkling stars, and a light mist danced over the lake's surface. Lena walked slowly, feeling the cold wind's touch on her skin, the forest's aromas mingling with the scent of pure water. She didn't know exactly why she was heading in this direction. She just felt she needed to keep going. Then she saw it. At the lake's edge, a violet flame flickered softly, as if the night itself breathed through it. Just observe. Feel the presence of this light before moving forward. It wasn't an ordinary flame. It didn't burn the ground or move with the wind. It was pure, translucent, and radiated a welcoming, almost hypnotic light. Lena felt a shiver run down her spine, not from fear, but from recognition. Something within her knew that this flame was a sign, an invitation to something greater. And before she could hesitate, a voice echoed in the night. "You heard the call, Lena. Welcome." The voice was serene, deep, and enveloping, like an ancient chant lost in time. The air around her seemed to vibrate, and the violet flame began to expand slightly. Lena swallowed hard, her heart racing. She wasn't alone. The air around Lena seemed to electrify with a subtle energy, an invisible warmth that contrasted with the night's cool breeze. The violet flame flickered softly before her, and every fibre of her being told her she could trust. She closed her eyes for a moment, focusing on the sensations around her. The scent of damp earth mingled with the sweet perfume of lavender and the salty breeze from the fjord. The silence was broken only by the sound of water touching the stones and the distant melody that seemed to pulse within her. When she opened her eyes again, a figure stood there. Tall and serene, draped in luminous white robes with golden details, the man watched her with deep, gentle eyes. His face radiated peace, and Lena felt inexplicably safe. There was no fear, only a silent reverence. "Who are you?" Her voice came out as a whisper, almost hesitant. The man smiled softly, and the violet flame between them shone brighter. "I am Saint Germain, and you, Lena, have come here for a reason." The name resonated within her like a musical note she already knew, but couldn't remember hearing before. It was as if it were part of something greater, something ancient, that had always been within her, waiting to be awakened. Saint Germain raised one hand, and the flame floated lightly, dancing in the air. "Do you feel this light? It doesn't come from outside, but from within. You have carried this fire before, in distant times. Now it's time to remember." Lena felt her heart race. How could he know this? She had never seen him before, and yet something about him was incredibly familiar. "Remember what?" she asked, feeling a mix of curiosity and apprehension. He observed her with patience, like someone who knows that answers cannot be rushed. "The violet flame is the flame of transmutation. Everything that weighs you down, all the pains, fears, regrets, none of it needs to remain. You have the power to transform. But first, you must see what's within you. Are you ready?" Lena felt a shiver run up her spine. Was she? She looked around at the star-covered sky, the silver reflection of the moon on the lake, the dark silhouette of the forest. The whole world seemed to have fallen silent for this moment. And then she took a deep breath and nodded. "Yes, I am ready." Saint Germain smiled and extended his hand to her. When Lena touched it, a wave of warmth coursed through her body, and a soft glow began to envelop them. The distant melody became clearer, like an ancient chant echoing between the fjords. The journey had begun. The light around Lena intensified, and for a moment she felt as if she were floating. The ground beneath her feet disappeared, and a sense of lightness took over her body. The sounds of the lake, the wind, and even the whisper of the trees faded away, giving way to a new landscape. When she opened her eyes, she was no longer by the fjord. She stood in a vast field where soft grass danced under a warm breeze. The sky above her pulsed in shades of lilac and gold, as if time itself had slowed down. And before her, a translucent mist began to take form. Saint Germain remained by her side, his presence firm and reassuring. "What do you see, Lena?" he asked, his voice sounding like an echo within her own mind. She squinted and realized that the mist was not just mist. It began to mold into images, moments from her own life. She saw herself as a child, running through the fields of her grandmother's farm, laughing to the sound of distant church bells. Then, she saw herself older, sitting in a city cafe, with a lost gaze and a heavy heart. And then, the images changed. She saw the days when she felt alone, when the words she wanted to say remained trapped inside her. She felt again the pain of goodbyes, the dreams she abandoned, the choices she feared making. A wave of emotion hit her, and her heart tightened. "Why am I seeing this?" she asked, her voice more fragile than she would have liked. Saint Germain extended his hand, and with a gentle gesture made the violet flame appear in the air. Because every memory that still holds you has power over you. But look closely, Lena. This is not a punishment. This is a gift. She looked at him, confused. How so? The violet flame shone brighter, and then he continued. Pain only has power when you cling to it, but you can choose to transform it. The violet flame does not erase the past, Lena. It purifies it. It turns sadness into wisdom, fear into courage, anger into understanding. She swallowed hard, feeling the warmth of the flame enveloping her body. For a moment, she felt vulnerable, as if all the barriers she had built were dissolving. But with that vulnerability came something new, a sense of relief, as if something old were finally dissolving. Hot tears rolled down her face, but for the first time, they were not tears of sadness. They were tears of liberation. Saint Germain smiled. "You're feeling it, aren't you? The transformation has already begun." Lena closed her eyes and allowed the violet flame to envelop her completely. She felt her body vibrate, as if every cell were awakening to something greater. The field around her began to dissipate, and slowly she felt the real world returning. When she opened her eyes again, she was back at the lake's edge. But something within her had changed. The night seemed starrier. The wind seemed softer, and within her a new warmth remained lit. She looked at Saint Germain, and he simply nodded. "Now you understand. But there is more to learn. Are you ready to continue?" Lena took a deep breath. "Yes, I want to move forward." And with that, the journey continued. Dawn arrived with a golden glow slowly spreading over the fjord, reflecting on the serene water like a mirror of light. Lena still felt the subtle warmth of the violet flame pulsing within her chest. It was as if a door had opened in her soul, allowing something new to flow freely. She walked to the cabin's porch, where the aroma of herbal tea mingled with the fresh morning air. She inhaled deeply, absorbing the soft sounds of nature, the distant song of birds, the whisper of wind through the trees, the gentle rhythm of the waves. But within her, there were still questions. She remembered the images she had seen the night before, the memories that Saint Germain had brought to the surface. Her past seemed intertwined with an invisible thread of unresolved emotions. But now, instead of running from them, she wanted to understand them. "What do I do with all this?" she murmured to herself. As if in response to her thought, Saint Germain appeared before her, the light around him soft as the dawn. You don't need to do anything but allow yourself to feel and transform. Each memory carries a lesson. Are you ready to understand yours? Lena nodded, and Saint Germain made a gentle gesture with his hand. The air around them shimmered lightly, and Lena found herself transported to a new scene. Now, she was in a garden surrounded by lavender and wildflowers. In the center, there was a stone bench, and on it, an ancient leather-bound journal. She approached hesitantly and touched the journal's cover. The moment she did, a wave of emotions coursed through her body, moments from her childhood, conversations she had forgotten, dreams she once had and had abandoned along the way. The journal's pages opened on their own, and a phrase appeared before her eyes. You have always known who you are. You just forgot. Her heart raced. What does this mean? She asked, feeling a lump in her throat. Saint Germain smiled. It means that within you exists ancient knowledge, a truth that has always been there. The violet flame not only heals the past, but also awakens who you truly are. Lena ran her fingers over the journal's pages and felt something pulsing within her. It was a memory, but not the ordinary kind. It was something deeper, like part of an existence beyond this life. She saw herself in another time, in a temple bathed in violet light. She saw herself practicing healing rituals, helping others find their own light. It was like a glimpse of something that had always been there, waiting to be remembered. When she returned to the present, her eyes were tearful. I've done this before, haven't I? Saint Germain nodded. Many times, and now you are remembering. The violet flame is rekindling your essence. Lena closed her eyes for a moment, absorbing it all. When she opened them again, she felt different, stronger, more connected. She knew her journey was far from over, but now she had a new purpose, and this time she was ready to follow it. The morning progressed gently, and Lena felt something within her reorganizing. The fresh air carried a light fragrance of mist and moss, and the sound of the fjord's waters flowed like a tranquil murmur. She took the air she had found in the vision and carried it with her to the lake's edge. She sat on a smooth rock, feeling the cool texture beneath her fingers. The breeze touched her face softly, and for the first time in a long time, Lena realized she was completely present in that moment. No anxiety, no weight, just there. But then something changed. The light around her seemed to lose its brilliance for a brief moment. The wind ceased, and a dense quietude filled the air. Lena felt a slight shiver run down her spine. Saint Germain appeared by her side, his expression serene, but his eyes reflected something different this time, a depth she had not seen before. The path of transformation demands that you choose, Lena. And now, the time has come to decide. She furrowed her brow. Choose what? He extended his hand, and the violet flame appeared between them, dancing softly in the air. But this time, within the flame, Lena saw something. An image. It was her own life, but with two distinct possibilities. On one side, she saw herself returning to her old reality, the city, the commitments, the worries that had kept her trapped before coming to Norway. It was a safe, predictable path. But within her, she felt a tightness, a sense that something would be missing. On the other side, she saw herself following a different, unknown path. She was helping people, sharing what she had learned, allowing transformation to flow through her. But this path required courage. It required letting go of the familiar. Lena's heart pounded. I don't know what to choose. Saint Germain observed her with patience. The awakening of the violet flame is not just a gift, Lena. It is a calling. You can follow whatever path you want, but now that you have awakened to this light, your soul will always feel the desire to expand it. Lena looked at the two possibilities before her, feeling the energy vibrating within her chest. It was as if her soul knew the answer before her mind could comprehend. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, feeling the energy stirring within her. The sound of the water, the aroma of the forest, the warm glow of the violet flame enveloping her. It all seemed to guide her toward just one direction. When she opened her eyes again, her decision was made. She looked at Saint Germain and smiled. Breathe deeply. In every choice, there is a transformation waiting to happen. I am ready. I choose transformation. The flame shone more intensely, enveloping her in a wave of welcoming warmth. And in that moment, Lena knew she would never be the same. The violet light pulsed around Lena, and for an instant, she felt as if she were enveloped in a pure energy embrace. The warmth was not physical but spiritual, a deep sense of welcome, as if her soul had finally found the right path. The wind began to blow softly again, bringing with it the perfume of wildflowers and the freshness of the lake. The sounds of nature, the rustling of leaves, the songs of morning birds, the murmur of the waters seemed more vibrant, as if the entire universe were celebrating her decision. Saint Germain remained by her side, watching her with serene eyes. Now that you have chosen transformation, Lena, you will begin to see the world in a new way. She looked at him, feeling within her a lightness she had never experienced before. It was as if all the layers of emotional weight had dissolved in the instant she accepted her path. But what happens now? What comes after the choice? Saint Germain smiled slightly. The choice was only the first step. Now, life will begin to respond to this decision. Old energies will start to dissolve, and new opportunities will arise. But to keep this light alive within you, you will need to remember something very important. Lena tilted her head, waiting for the answer. Transformation is not a one-time event. It is a constant flow. You will need to nurture this flame daily with your thoughts, feelings, and actions. She nodded slowly, feeling the words resonate within her. Indeed, something within her knew that this journey would not end here. She looked around, the fjord, the clear sky, the golden light reflecting on the water, and realized that everything seemed different. Not because the world had changed, but because she had changed. There was space for the new. there was space for peace. Saint Germain raised one hand, and the violet flame shone softly once more. Whenever you need to remember, return to this light. It will be within you, always. Lena closed her eyes for a moment, breathing deeply, feeling the energy expanding within her. When she opened them again, Saint Germain was no longer there physically, but his presence remained. And within Lena, the violet flame burned brighter than ever. The following days were filled with a serene calm, but Lena knew her journey was just beginning. The field around the cabin was still her refuge, the lake her inner mirror, but the true transformation was happening within her, in every moment lived. As she walked the trails bordering the fjord, the aromas of damp earth and lavender still filled the air, but now there was a lightness in every step she took. The memories of her past life, those that had dragged her to a place of darkness and insecurity, were now dissolving like mist at dawn. She felt the strength of her own presence, the connection with the violet flame, burning softly in her heart, always by her side, guiding every decision. But, as Saint Germain had warned, transformation was not something achieved all at once. It was a constant flow of choices and actions, and Lena soon realized that the true test would come when life's difficulties began to surface again. The world would not change just because she had chosen transformation. She would need to live and apply the teachings of the violet flame in her daily life. On one of her walks, while contemplating the lake, a memory from the past surfaced with unexpected force. The voice of her former boss, criticizing her harshly in front of her colleagues, the weight of a failed relationship that still made her feel powerless, the insecurity she had carried for so long. All of it returned, like shadows trying to invade the newly discovered light. Lena felt her heart tighten, but instead of succumbing to this wave of emotions, she breathed deeply and closed her eyes. She felt the violet flame within her burning brighter. The flame, warm and purifying, began to envelop her memories, transforming anger and sadness into something new, something lighter. She visualized the energy of these memories dissipating into a soft light, dissolving the shadows. They were no longer burdens but sources of wisdom that she could now use to grow. What had once seemed like deep wounds were now just healed scars, making her stronger, more resilient. With a serene smile, Lena opened her eyes and looked at the lake. It was calm, but she knew that within it was in motion, in transformation. It was like the water, deep but serene, with an invisible and constant force. She now possessed that force. Back at the cabin, Lena took her journal, the same one Saint Germain had shown her, and began to write. The words flowed freely, like a river that had finally found its way. She wrote about what she had learned so far, about what the violet flame had meant in her life, and about the small victories that were now becoming part of her daily journey. She knew that her transformation was manifesting in everyday actions. It was the way she looked at herself in the mirror, the way she responded to challenges, the way she interacted with others. Each act of compassion, each thought of healing, each moment of gratitude fed the flame within her, making it stronger. Lena smiled to herself, feeling the warmth of the violet flame still glowing in her heart. She knew that the journey would continue to unfold before her, but now she was ready. Now she knew who she truly was. The morning advanced gently, and Lena felt something within her reorganizing. The fresh air carried a light fragrance of mist and moss, and the sound of the fjord's waters flowed like a tranquil murmur. She took the ancient journal she had found in the vision and carried it with her to the lake's edge. She sat on a smooth rock, feeling the cool texture beneath her fingers. The breeze touched her face softly, and for the first time in a long time, Lena realized she was completely present in that moment. No anxiety, no weight, just there. But then, something changed. The light around her seemed to lose its brilliance for a brief moment. The wind ceased, and a dense quietude filled the air. Lena felt a slight shiver run down her spine. Saint Germain appeared by her side, his expression serene, but his eyes reflected something different this time, a depth she had not seen before. The path of transformation demands that you choose, Lena. And now, the time has come to decide. She furrowed her brow. Choose what? He extended his hand, and the violet flame appeared between them, dancing softly in the air. But this time, within the flame, Lena saw something. An image. It was her own life, but with two distinct possibilities. On one side, she saw herself returning to her old reality, the city, the commitments, the worries that had kept her trapped before coming to Norway. It was a safe, predictable path. But within her, she felt a tightness, a sense that something would be missing. On the other side, she saw herself following a different, unknown path. She was helping people, sharing what she had learned, allowing transformation to flow through her. But this path required courage. It required letting go of the familiar. Lena's heart pounded. I don't know what to choose. Saint Germain observed her with patience. The awakening of the violet flame is not just a gift, Lena. It is a calling. You can follow whatever path you want, but now that you have awakened to this light, your soul will always feel the desire to expand it. Lena looked at the two possibilities before her, feeling the energy vibrating within her chest. It was as if her soul knew the answer before her mind could comprehend. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, feeling the energy stirring within her. The sound of the water, the aroma of the forest, the warm glow of the violet flame enveloping her. It all seemed to guide her toward just one direction. When she opened her eyes again, her decision was made. She looked at Saint Germain and smiled. Breathe deeply. In every choice, there is a transformation waiting to happen. I am ready. I choose transformation. The flame shone more intensely, enveloping her in a wave of welcoming warmth. And in that moment, Lena knew she would never be the same. The violet light pulsed around Lena, and for an instant, she felt as if she were enveloped in a pure energy embrace. The warmth was not physical but spiritual, a deep sense of welcome, as if her soul had finally found the right path. The wind began to blow softly again, bringing with it the perfume of wildflowers and the freshness of the lake. The sounds of nature, the rustling of leaves, the songs of morning birds, the murmur of the waters seemed more vibrant, as if the entire universe were celebrating her decision. Saint Germain remained by her side, watching her with serene eyes. Now that you have chosen transformation, Lena, you will begin to see the world in a new way. She looked at him, feeling within her a lightness she had never experienced before. It was as if all the layers of emotional weight had dissolved in the instant she accepted her path. But what happens now? What comes after the choice? Saint Germain smiled slightly. The choice was only the first step. Now, life will begin to respond to this decision. Old energies will start to dissolve, and new opportunities will arise. But to keep this light alive within you, you will need to remember something very important. Lena tilted her head, waiting for the answer. Transformation is not a one-time event. It is a constant flow. You will need to nurture this flame daily with your thoughts, feelings, and actions. She nodded slowly, feeling the words resonate within her. Indeed, something within her knew that this journey would not end here. She looked around, the fjord, the clear sky, the golden light reflecting on the water, and realized that everything seemed different. Not because the world had changed, but because she had changed. There was space for the new. There was space for peace. Saint Germain raised one hand, and the violet flame shone softly once more. Whenever you need to remember, return to this light. It will be within you, always. Lena closed her eyes for a moment, breathing deeply, feeling the energy expanding within her. When she opened them again, Saint Germain was no longer there physically, but his presence remained. And within Lena, the violet flame burned brighter than ever. Time passed, but the light within Lena never faded. Now, she walked unknown trails, exploring new places, meeting new souls in search of transformation. She was no longer just a traveler of the world, but a traveler of consciousness, carrying the energy of the violet flame wherever she went. On some silent nights, when the wind whispered secrets between the trees, and the sky was illuminated by the glow of the stars, Lena felt the presence of Saint Germain by her side, no longer as an external figure, but as an essence within her. She understood now. He had never gone away. The flame burned in her heart, and whenever she closed her eyes, she could feel it vibrating with the same intensity as when she first entered it. In every kind word she offered to the world, in every gaze of compassion, in every act of love, the violet flame manifested. She had become part of the light, and this light now belonged to the world. The night breeze was cool and light, carrying with it the perfume of wildflowers. Lena felt every detail around her, as if her senses were heightened. The silver glow of the moon reflected on the lake, the rustling of leaves in the wind, the gentle touch of the porch wood beneath her fingers. She held the journal between her hands, running her fingers over the aged leather cover. Writing in it had become a sacred ritual, a space where she could express everything she was experiencing. But on this night, as she opened the pages, she felt a slight shiver. The words she had written seemed to glow softly under the candlelight. It was as if the energy of the violet flame was alive there, pulsing between the lines, responding to what she had learned. but something within her still needed to be released. Lena realized that despite all the growth and transformation she'd experienced, there was still one last shadow within her, a silent fear, a lingering doubt about her own path. The thought came as a whisper in the back of her mind. What if I regress? What if I feel all of that again? She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, feeling the energy stirring within her. It was then that she heard the soft voice of Saint Germain. You are feeling it, aren't you? The last layer that needs to be transmuted. Lena opened her eyes and saw him there, beside the porch, enveloped in the same welcoming light as always. I thought I had transformed everything. But this fear is still here. Saint Germain looked at her with patience. True transformation is not about never feeling fear or doubt again. It is about learning to transmute them whenever they arise. He raised his hand, and a small violet flame appeared floating before her. Whenever you feel fear, Lena, remember that it is just an invitation to transmutation. It is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Lena looked at the flame dancing in the air, and in that moment, she understood. Fear did not mean she was failing. It meant she was growing. She closed her eyes and allowed the energy of the violet flame to flow within her. She felt the fear dissolving, transforming into confidence, surrender, and peace. When she opened her eyes again, Saint Germain nodded slightly. Now you are ready. Lena smiled, feeling lighter than ever. The wind blew softly, carrying away the last shadow that remained within her. The climax of her journey was near. The night was silent, and Lena felt her heart pulsing in sync with the universe around her. The full moon shone over the fjord, and the water reflected its glow like a liquid mirror. She knew that something was about to happen, a final moment of transformation, an instant that would seal everything she had learned. She rose from the wooden chair on the cabin's porch and walked to the lake's edge, feeling the cool grass beneath her bare feet. The wind blew softly, bringing with it a light perfume of lavender and sandalwood. The entire world seemed to have entered a state of profound stillness. And then, in the midst of the starry night, the violet flame appeared. It was no longer just in Lena's mind. Now it shimmered before her, a luminous dance floating in the air, alive, pulsating, as if it had a consciousness of its own. Lena felt her heart race, but not from fear. It was a silent reverence, a recognition of something grand and divine. It was then that Saint Germain appeared by her side, his presence radiating serenity. Lena, the time has come. You have understood transformation, but now you must live it fully. She looked at the violet flame, feeling its energy enveloping every cell of her body. What should I do? She asked, her voice soft but firm. Saint Germain looked at her with infinite wisdom. Enter the flame. Allow yourself to be completely enveloped by it. Lena swallowed hard. Her entire body tingled, but she knew there was no turning back. This was the moment to trust. With one last deep breath, she stepped forward and immersed herself in the light. Keep your eyes closed or close your eyes for a moment. You were about to cross a portal of pure transformation. In the instant her body touched the flame, a soft warmth coursed through her skin. But it was not a warmth that burned, it was a warmth that healed. It was as if all the painful memories, all the insecurities, all the fears she had carried for years were dissolving in the infinite flow of light. She saw flashes of her own life passing before her eyes, moments of pain, yes, but also moments of love, learning and growth. Each experience, good or bad, was transformed into pure wisdom. Time seemed to have disappeared. She felt herself floating in an ocean of light, weightless, limitless, just pure, complete, radiant existence. And then, within the flame, Lena heard Saint Germain's voice one last time. You are now part of the light. Use it with wisdom. Share it with the world. With a final intense glow, the violet flame began to dissipate softly, bringing Lena back to the lake's edge. When she opened her eyes, she was no longer the same. She was the violet flame. She was the transformation. And her journey was just beginning. The sun rose slowly over the fjords, tinting the sky with golden and lilac hues. The world seemed to breathe in harmony, as if nature itself recognized the transformation that had occurred that night. Lena sat on the porch of her cabin, holding a cup of warm tea between her hands. The soft aroma of chamomile and lavender filled the air, mingling with the fresh morning breeze. Her eyes gazed at the tranquil lake before her, where the water reflected the gentle light of dawn. She felt at peace. Not a superficial peace, but a deep serenity, as if every part of her being was in perfect harmony with the universe. There was no more rush, no more fear. Just the present, just the awareness of now. Lena ran her fingers over the open journal beside her. On the last pages, she had written words that flowed directly from her soul. The violet flame is not something external. It is not a distant miracle. It is part of us. It is the power to transmute, to release, to become light. I am not the same anymore, and yet I am more myself than I have ever been before. The journey never ends, but now I know that I will always be safe, because the flame lives within me. She smiled softly and closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the violet energy still pulsing in her heart. Far on the horizon, the sun rose a little higher, illuminating the world with its new light. And within Lena, the same light shone, soft, eternal, transformative. Breathe deeply and feel the air entering your lungs, filling every cell of your body with serenity and light. Imagine a violet flame glowing softly within your chest, dancing like a gentle breeze, transforming any fear, any doubt, any weight into pure peace. This flame has always been there. It is in every thought you choose to elevate, in every emotion you decide to transmute, in every step you take toward your own truth. Saint Germain whispers through time. The light lives within you. Allow yourself to shine. And just like Lena, you too can awaken this energy, letting transformation happen from within. May the violet flame envelop you with love, protection, and renewal. Feel the subtle breeze of the night caressing your skin, while the violet energy dances softly within your heart. Allow this sacred flame to dissolve all tension, all worry. With each breath, you surrender to a deeper state of peace and renewal. Have you ever felt a call like Lena's? What would you choose? To return to the familiar, or to embark on the transformation? The violet flame has been present in your life before, and perhaps you have just forgotten. Would you like to learn how to awaken it? If you want to learn to activate this energy in your life, subscribe to the channel and discover the secrets of spiritual transmutation. If you are ready for rest, may your night be enveloped by this light, guiding your dreams to dimensions where your soul can rest and regenerate. May Saint Germain and the violet flame envelop you, bringing restorative sleep, purifying your mind, body, and spirit. If you are still awake, may this flame illuminate your path. May every thought and action resonate with this sacred vibration, guiding you to your highest self, where your inner light shines without fear. And remember, the violet flame never fades. It is within you. If this moment has brought peace to your heart, continue this journey with us. Activate notifications and allow yourself to delve even deeper into spiritual transformation. Together, we expand this light. Breathe and rest. Feel this light within you. It will remain glowing softly in your heart. You are protected, you are home.